Have you ever taken your clothes out of the washing machine and noticed that they have faded, shrunk, or no longer feel as soft as before? What many do not know is that washing clothes is not just a matter of detergent and water, but there are very common mistakes that can be ruining your clothes without you noticing. If you've ever wondered why your clothes don't last as long as they should, or why some items wear out after just a few washes, you're probably making one of these mistakes. But don't worry, because today I'm going to reveal to you the most common mistakes when washing clothes and how to avoid them so that your clothes stay in perfect condition for much longer. Stay until the end, because the last mistake is one of the most serious, and many people make it without even realizing it. Washing clothes is a task that we do almost without thinking. We put the clothes in the washing machine, add detergent, press a button, and that's it. But what many people don't know is that some habits that seem harmless can be wearing down fabric, causing colors to fade faster, and even reducing the lifespan of our favorite clothes. If you've ever noticed that your clothes are losing their softness, shrinking, pilling, or just don't look as good as when you bought them, you may be making one of these mistakes without realizing it. And the worst thing is that over time, these small failures can cause clothing to deteriorate much sooner than expected, forcing you to replace items more frequently than necessary. But don't worry, because today I'm going to tell you what are the most common mistakes when washing clothes, and most importantly, how to fix them easily. By just making a few small changes to your washing routine, you'll notice a big difference in how your clothes look and feel after each cycle. So let's start with the first mistake, which has to do with something that we have all done at some point, and that may be damaging our clothes without us knowing it. Using too much detergent thinking that the clothes will be cleaner. Many people believe that the more detergent they add to the washing machine, the cleaner and fresher the clothes will be. However, this is a mistake that can cause clothing to not only be left with sticky residue, but also accumulate bad odors over time. Instead of improving the wash, too much detergent can do the exact opposite. When too much detergent is used, the washing machine cannot always rinse it completely. This means that some of the soap gets trapped in the fibers of your clothes, creating a sticky layer that traps dirt and bacteria instead of removing them. Over time, these buildups can cause clothes to develop a persistent musty odor, even when they've just come out of the washing machine. Another problem is that detergent residue can affect the softness of the clothes. Many times when clothes begin to feel rough or less comfortable to the touch, it is not because the fabric has worn out, but because soap residue has hardened the fibers. This is especially the case with cotton towels and clothing, which over time can become stiff and lose their absorbency. To avoid this problem, it is best to only use the amount recommended by the detergent manufacturer. If the clothes are not too dirty, you can even reduce the dose a little without affecting the washing result. Additionally, opting for extra rinse cycles helps remove any soap residue that may be trapped on fabrics. A very effective solution to combat this problem is to add white vinegar to the fabric softener compartment. Vinegar not only helps remove detergent residue, but also leaves clothes softer and fresher without the need for additional chemicals. Unlike conventional fabric softener, which leaves a film on clothing, vinegar works by eliminating residue and neutralizing odors. If until now you thought that more detergent meant more cleaning, it's time to change that habit. By reducing the amount of soap and ensuring that the washing machine rinses clothes thoroughly, you will avoid the buildup of residue and get fresher, softer, and really clean-smelling clothes. Now let's move on to the next mistake, which has to do with water temperature and how it may be affecting the durability of your clothes without you noticing. Washing clothes with the wrong water temperature. Water temperature plays a fundamental role in cleaning clothes, but many people choose it randomly without knowing that this could be damaging their clothes without them realizing it. Using water that is too hot can cause clothes to shrink, colors to fade faster, or fibers to lose their softness. On the other hand, always washing with cold water can cause certain stains and bacteria to not be completely removed. One of the most common mistakes is to put all the clothes in the washing machine with hot water, thinking that this will make them cleaner. Hot water is effective at removing grease and bacteria, but it can be too aggressive for many fabrics. Cotton garments can shrink, synthetic garments can lose their shape, and bright colors can fade over time. If you've ever noticed that your favorite clothes became tighter after washing, hot water may be the culprit. On the other hand, always washing with cold water is not the best option either. Although cold water helps preserve colors and prevent fabrics from deteriorating, it is not always enough to remove accumulated dirt, especially in heavily used clothing or with grease and sweat stains. Towels, bedding, and clothing that comes into frequent contact with the body, such as underwear and t-shirts, can accumulate bacteria if they are only washed in cold water. To obtain the best results without damaging the clothing, it is ideal to adjust the temperature according to the type of garment. Hot water, between 50 and 60 degrees, is useful for linens, towels, and white clothes that need deep cleaning. Warm water between 30 and 40 degrees is the best option for most everyday clothing as it cleans well without damaging the fibers. Cold water below 30 degrees is ideal for delicate clothes, synthetic fabrics, and dark-colored garments, preventing them from shrinking or fading. If you're not sure what temperature to use, a good rule of thumb is to check the label on each item of clothing before washing it. Many times we ignore these small symbols, but there is the key information so that the clothes last longer without wearing out. Now that you know how to choose the right temperature for each type of garment, let's move on to the next mistake, which is something that many people do without realizing it, and that may be reducing the lifespan of their favorite garments. Overloading the washing machine and not leaving room for the clothes to wash properly. When we have a lot of dirty clothes accumulated, it is tempting to put as much as possible in the washing machine to finish faster. But what many do not know is that overloading the drum can cause the clothes to not be cleaned properly and the wear on the clothes to be greater with each wash. Although it may seem like you are optimizing time and water, you could actually be reducing the lifespan of your clothes without realizing it. One of the main problems with overfilling the washing machine is that water and detergent cannot circulate freely between the clothes. In each wash cycle, water must move through the clothing to remove dirt and detergent residue. But if the washing machine is too full, the clothes are packed together, which prevents the water from penetrating properly. As a result, some pieces come out still dirty or with soap residue, which can generate bad odors over time. Another problem is that spinning becomes less effective. When the washing machine is overloaded, the drum cannot rotate with the same force, which means that the clothes do not drain completely. This causes clothes to come out too wet, which prolongs drying time and increases the risk of musty odors. In addition, excessive weight can generate an imbalance in the washing machine's motor, affecting its long-term operation and causing premature wear on the appliance. To ensure that your clothes are washed correctly, it is best to fill the washing machine, leaving at least a hand width of free space between the clothes and the top of the drum. This allows water and detergent to distribute better, ensuring a deep clean on each garment. It is also advisable not to mix too many types of fabrics in a single load, as some garments need more room to move without damage. If you have a lot of clothes accumulated, instead of putting them all in one wash, it is better to divide them into two smaller loads. It may seem like it will take longer, but in reality your clothes will come out cleaner and dry faster, preventing odors and unnecessary wear and tear. Now let's move on to the next mistake, which has to do with one of the most forgotten parts of the washing routine, and which may be dirtying your clothes instead of leaving them truly clean. Not cleaning the washing machine regularly. The washing machine is the appliance responsible for leaving our clothes clean, but many people forget that it also needs maintenance. If it is not cleaned frequently, the inside of the washing machine can accumulate detergent residue, fabric softener, and dirt from the clothes, which in the long term generates bad odors and affects the cleanliness of the clothes. One of the most common mistakes is thinking that the washing machine cleans itself with each wash cycle. Although water and soap circulate through the drum, that does not mean that the interior of the appliance is free of debris buildup. Over time, moisture and soap scum form a sticky layer that encourages mold and bacteria to grow. If you've ever noticed that your freshly washed clothes don't smell as fresh as they should, chances are your washing machine needs a deep clean. Another common problem is the accumulation of dirt on the drum rubber, especially in front-loading washing machines. Moisture trapped in this area can lead to black mold stains, which not only affect the smell of your clothes, but can also transfer bacteria to your clothes with each wash. In addition, the detergent and fabric softener drawers tend to retain residue that, if not cleaned, ends up forming a layer of sticky, smelly dirt. To avoid these problems, it is advisable to do a deep cleaning at least once a month. An effective method is to run an empty wash cycle with hot water and a cup of white vinegar. Vinegar helps break down detergent residue and eliminates bacteria and bad odors. For a deeper clean, you can also add half a cup of baking soda, which helps remove dirt buildup from the drum and internal passages. It is also important to manually clean the rubber of the washing machine with a cloth moistened with vinegar or a mixture of water and a few drops of bleach. If there are mold stains, you can scrub them with an old toothbrush to remove them completely. Additionally, the detergent drawer should be removed and washed with hot water at least once a month to prevent soap scum from accumulating. Another key habit to keep your washing machine in good condition is to leave the drum door open after each wash. This allows the interior to dry completely and prevents moisture buildup, which is the main cause of mold and odors. It is also advisable to check the washing machine filter from time to time, since traces of dirt and small objects accumulate there that can affect the performance of the device. If you have never cleaned your washing machine until now is the time to start. You will notice that your clothes will come out smelling much fresher and without traces of detergent residue. Now let's move on to the next mistake, which has to do with drying clothes and how to do it the right way to prevent clothes from deteriorating prematurely. Drying clothes incorrectly and ruining the fibers without realizing it. Drying is one of the most important stages in the washing process, but many people do it incorrectly without knowing that they are damaging their clothes. If you've ever noticed that your clothes feel rough, lose their shape, or even develop an unpleasant odor after drying, you may be making some of these mistakes. One of the most common problems is do not shake clothes before hanging them or putting them in the dryer. Many people take their clothes out of the washing machine and hang them up immediately, without realizing that this causes the fibers to become matted and create wrinkles that are difficult to remove. By shaking each garment before hanging it, you help the fabric return to its natural shape and the clothes dry more evenly. Another mistake is dry clothes in an unventilated space. If you hang clothes inside the house without air circulation or without opening windows, moisture is trapped and the clothes take longer to dry, which can generate bad odors. If you have no choice but to dry indoors, try placing a fan nearby or hanging your clothes in a well-ventilated room. The sun is an excellent ally for drying clothes and eliminating bacteria naturally, but exposing certain items of clothing to direct sun for too long can cause colors to fade quickly. This is especially true for dark clothing, which over time can fade and become dull. To avoid this, it is best to hang your clothes in a shady place or turn them inside out to reduce the impact of the sun's rays. If you use a dryer, one of the most serious mistakes is put too many clothes in a single cycle. As with the washing machine, overloading the dryer prevents hot air from circulating properly, causing some clothes to be damp and others to overheat, which can damage the fibers. To make drying more efficient, it is best to divide the laundry into smaller loads and select the appropriate program for each type of fabric. It is also important to clean the dryer lint filter after each use. Many people forget, but if the filter is clogged, the dryer will take longer to complete the cycle, and your clothes will be left with a strange smell due to the buildup of residue. Another trick to keep clothes soft without the need for industrial softeners is use wool balls in the dryer. These balls help reduce static electricity, naturally soften fibers, and speed up the drying process, which also helps save energy. Drying clothes correctly not only keeps them in good condition for longer, but also prevents the buildup of unpleasant odors and reduces wear and tear on fabrics. Now let's move on to the next mistake, which has to do with how you store your clothes and why doing it wrong can affect their freshness and durability. Storing clothes incorrectly and affecting their freshness and durability. Once clothes are clean and dry, many people believe that simply folding or hanging them is enough. However, the way we store clothes can affect both their scent and durability. If you've ever taken an item of clothing out of the closet and it's lost its freshness or has a musty smell, you may be making some storage mistakes. One of the most common problems is store clothes when they are still slightly damp. Sometimes a garment feels dry to the touch, but if moisture is trapped in the fibers and placed in a closed drawer or closet, the dark, unventilated environment can cause unpleasant odors and even mold to develop. To avoid this, it is best to make sure your clothes are completely dry before putting them away. Another mistake is not airing the closet regularly. Enclosed spaces tend to accumulate moisture and odors over time, which can affect the freshness of clothing. To avoid this, it is advisable to open the closet doors at least once a week for a few minutes, allowing air to circulate. You can also place small bags with baking soda or activated charcoal inside the drawers, as these materials absorb moisture and prevent unpleasant odors. If you want your clothes to keep a fresh scent for longer, a good idea is use cloth bags with lavender, eucalyptus leaves, or even dried orange peel slices. These natural ingredients not only leave a pleasant scent on clothes, but also help repel insects such as moths. Another habit that many people overlook is store clothes in the wrong place. Some fabrics, such as heavy cotton or wool, may warp if hung on hangers for too long. In these cases, it is best to fold them and stack them on shelves. On the other hand, garments such as shirts, blouses, and jackets should be hung to avoid wrinkles and maintain their original shape. If you use hangers, it is important to choose the right ones. Wire hangers can leave marks on the shoulders of clothing and cause some clothes to lose their structure. Wooden or velvet hangers are a better option to avoid warping delicate fabrics. It is also recommended do not overload the closet with too many clothes. When clothes are packed too tightly together, they not only wrinkle easily, but they can also lose their fresh scent due to lack of ventilation. If you have too many clothes accumulated, it may be time to clean out and get rid of those clothes you no longer wear. By following these tips, your clothes will stay fresh and in perfect condition for much longer. Now let's move on to the conclusion and one last tip that will help you optimize your washing and storage routine so that your clothes last much longer. Now that you know these common mistakes when washing, drying, and storing clothes, you will have realized that many times the problem is not in the quality of the clothes, but in the habits that we have without realizing it. From using too much detergent to overloading the washing machine or not ventilating the closet. Every little detail influences how our clothes last over time. Best of all, fixing these errors doesn't require much effort. With simple adjustments to the way you wash and care for your clothes, you can keep them soft, smelling good, and in great condition for much longer. Separating clothes correctly, choosing the right temperature, making sure the washing machine is clean, and allowing clothes to dry completely before putting them away are simple habits that will make a big difference. If you have noticed that some of your favorite clothes wear out quickly, or that the clothes do not smell as fresh as they should, try applying these tricks and you will see the results in no time. Not only will you save money by avoiding replacing clothes so frequently, but you will also enjoy cleaner, softer, and much more pleasant smelling clothes. Now tell me in the comments, which of these mistakes have you made without realizing it? Is there one that you already applied or one that you plan to correct from now on? I would love to know your experience. And before you go, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell for more tips on cleaning, organizing, and home care. See you in the next video with more tricks that will help you make your life easier.